This video is a tribute to Alan Kaiser, the victim of a mob hit that completely went wrong. Today, August 5th, marks the anniversary of a person who lost their life in the most tragic way in a shooting that occurred in Brooklyn, New York. His name was Alan Kaiser. On August 5th, 1977, here's the report from the Daily News that occurred from the next following day. Saturday, August 6, 1977, shotgun kills boy, 16. A 16-year-old Brooklyn boy was killed by a shotgun blast early yesterday as he was walking along West 8th Street near Kings Highway in Coney Island, police reported. A 21-year-old accompanying the youth was wounded by the gunman, who fired from a car that drove alongside the victim. The boy, Alan Kaiser of 1784 West 8th Street, was pronounced dead at the scene, police said. The wounded man, Aldo Candido of 1745 West 8th Street, was taken to Coney Island Hospital where he was listed as in fair condition. The two were on their way to their homes at 2 a.m. when the shooting occurred, police said. Homicide detectives are investigating. That's one of the most first articles to report the tragedy of Alan Kaiser. The perpetrators of that shooting would involve Liborio, Louie, Milito, and Salvatore Sammy Gravano. The information came out during the early 1990s after Sammy Gravano had testified against his boss John Gotti as he was the underboss. While incarcerated, he eventually testified and swore to the courts and law enforcement that he would give up all the 19 victims that he was involved in. Sometimes he was the trigger man of the 19 victims, or he was involved in their killings. As you can see from the list, Alan Kaiser will be the second victim that will occur on Sammy Gravano's victim list, listed as number 2 of the year of 1977. There have been different speculations that Sammy Gravano has given throughout the years. However, one fact remains certain is that Alan Kaiser was not the intended target of Sammy Gravano and Louie Milito. There have been different disputes to who was the trigger man. According to Sammy Gravano, he has stated that he has stated in 2019 that Alan Kaiser was the cause of his own death. Then has made several different changes throughout the years as the story has been retold from his perspective. He once stated that Louie Milito was the actual trigger man because he said he has no reason to lie about it because he was cooperating with law enforcement, and if he ever lied under oath, then that could be used against him in other trials. And since there is no statute of limitations on murder, he stands by his word that Milito was the actual trigger man. Some may claim that Sammy Gravano was the trigger man. However, we'll never know. All we know is that since Louie Milito was murdered by Sammy Gravano years later, we will never hear two sides of the story. However, Kaiser's family begged to differ, and here is a message from the victim's family. Tom Faraci, who is the brother-in-law of Alan Kaiser, had discovered his body, and here's from his own words.
Hi, I'm Tom Faraci. I'm Joy's husband. We've been together for over 50 years. I identified Alan's body in the street after Sammy the rat prick shot him dead. Don't let him bullshit you. Alan was an innocent kid.
You can also hear from his wife, Joy Faraci, on Lee Cole's and James Proctor's podcast. Let them know that we sent you there in the comments below. And let them know that we sent you there so you can really hear from their side of the story. They rarely do any interviews, and they're also welcome to our platform to share their side since we don't really know what Alan Kaiser was like as a person. And since many years has passed on, his story has never been told throughout many mainstream medias. However, many people have called Sammy out, including Joey Merlino, as you can see here.
Admitted to killing 19 people.
Right.
You know, in terms of his involvement in 19 murders. One of which is actually his brother-in-law.
How about the kid he killed, the 16-year-old? He don't talk about that. He killed a 16-year-old innocent kid.
He ended up getting 5 years because for his, he cooperated against a bunch of mafia bosses. I mean, he was going on a tour of taking the stand whenever they wanted to in order to achieve that.
And Dominic Sakali.
The guy, he's funny, witty.
And when we did our interviews, the one thing that he said that he won't talk about is the murder of his brother-in-law, his wife's brother.
And Alan Kaiser.
Yeah. Did you know about that?
I found out afterwards with Alan Kaiser. I think from what I've seen, hearing him, I think he should, with that, from what I heard, even with the family, like, he hasn't apologized. There's no remorse there. It's like, come on, Sammy. That was an innocent kid. Things happen. Don't get me wrong. Spur of the moment, the witness, you did what he had to do, but there should be some remorse. You're not that cold. You can't be that cold-hearted. I'm not saying he's not. Person that cold-hearted, that's just, especially after you said you turned your life around. I don't know. Maybe that's his demon he has to deal with, and he'll have to answer one day, just like I have to answer.
It is a shame that someone had lost their life over senseless violence, especially if he had nothing to do with any hostile activity. Many different reports have stated that Alan Kaiser was walking his girlfriend home, and when he saw Sammy Liborio Gravano, one of John Gotti's men, kill a man, he was shot as a witness. Gravano was served less than 5 years in exchange for a vital testimony against John Gotti, and therefore walks as a free man. However, many people are calling him out for the incident, and many people are wanting justice for Alan Kaiser. We would like to give our condolences to Alan Kaiser's family, and we would like to hear from you, from our own community, about what you have to say about this senseless violence. We have covered other different tragedies like Mark Scarfo, the son of Nicky Scarfo, who had nothing to do with the mob, and along with Alan Kaiser. Then we will also cover the story of Enrico Riccobini, who was also the victim of a mob serial in which he himself had ended his own life just to prevent any other senseless violence that occurred. Please let us know what you think about this video in the comments below. Once again, we send our condolences to the Kaiser family. We hope this message gets out to them. And also, if anyone wants us to tell any stories of other victims of other senseless violence, we'd like for their voices to be heard, especially when people are not able to speak for themselves. Thank you for your time, and God bless.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more of our content. Feel free to give your feedback and suggestions on what we should do next in the comments. This is Infinite Lee Productions. We love ya.